Hello, very good morning. Welcome to this morning's edition of the Mega News, the 6th news coming to you live from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate. We also live on our Facebook, MBN 360, YouTube, and X. But before details of the stories, let's first take a look at our headlines.
Ablakwa arrives in Latvia to pursue justice for deceased Ghanaian student. In business, FDA to shut down food outlets operating without hygiene permits. And on the international front, US and India reach trade deal, Trump says after Modi call.
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, has arrived in Latvia for a two-day official visit seeking to have clarity and justice over the tragic death of a Ghanaian student, Nana Ejiri.
In a Facebook post on Monday, the minister said the visit was in line with the promise he made to Ghanaians to personally address the disturbing and unresolved circumstances surrounding the student's death while studying at Riga Technical University. Mr. Ablakwa disclosed that he received a warm welcome from Latvia's Foreign Minister, Her Excellency Baiba Brace, and that the two sides held productive bilateral discussions. According to him, the Latvian government has assured Ghana of full cooperation in efforts to uncover the truth and ensure justice. The Foreign Affairs Minister is leading a 6-member delegation made up of senior officials from the ministry, a forensic expert, and a pathologist. He explained that 2 family members of the deceased were unable to travel with the delegation on Saturday due to visa processing delays, but have since been issued visas and are expected to join the team in Latvia. Mr. Ablakwa clarified that all members of the delegation, including family representatives and experts, are fully funded by the ministry. He dismissed claims circulating on social media suggesting extortion, fake airline tickets, or demands for payment from the family, describing the allegations as baseless and unsupported by evidence. The minister noted that his delegation will continue engagements with Latvian authorities, including meetings with officials from the Ministries of Interior and Education, as well as investigators handling the case. The visit follows a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs rejecting claims that it demanded money from the family of Nana Ejiri to facilitate travel arrangements. The ministry reiterated that the government has borne all costs related to the investigation and travel and has maintained transparent communication with the family. According to the ministry, travel delays were caused solely by visa processing challenges, including incomplete documentation at the initial stage and not by any wrongdoing on the part of government officials. Mr. Ablakwa reaffirmed Ghana's commitment to protecting the welfare and dignity of its citizens abroad, stressing that the ministry remains focused on ensuring justice for the late Nana Ejiri, for God and country, he said.
The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, has reaffirmed government commitment to integrating indigenous languages into the national education system, describing language as a central to culture and identity.
He made the remarks during a courtesy call on the Gamanche King Takite Kochu II, the overlord of the Ga traditional area, amid growing national discussions on artificial intelligence and language representation, including recent engagements with Google AI. Speaking at the palace, Mr. Idrisu said the visit was his first official courtesy call since assuming office and assured the traditional ruler that Ghana's education system would remain firmly rooted in the country's cultural heritage.
It will be unthinkable for government under President John Dramani Mahama, with me as his Minister for Education, to think of the integration which must reflect our diversity as a people. Every society is its culture, and language is at the forefront of the definition of that culture. And therefore, it will be unthinkable for government to roll out any indigenous language policy and exclude the Ga language. So Nitake Schroeder can be assured that I would not supervise that, and President Mahama will not tolerate nor accept that. Beyond what President Nkrumah did to promote multilingualism in our country, I have been at the forefront of the use of indigenous language to be at the center of our education learning curve. I would continue to maintain same whilst recognizing that English remains our official language.
On technology and innovation, Mr. Idrisu revealed that Google had initially piloted only 3 Ghanaian languages in its AI language initiatives. He said the ministry had formally engaged the company to include Ga Adangbe as a 4th language, with plans to expand coverage to all 12 approved Ghanaian indigenous languages, describing the move as both culturally necessary and forward-looking. The education minister added that the initiative aligns with President John Dramani Mahama's broader vision of promoting multilingualism in education, including the expansion of sign language to improve inclusivity for persons with disabilities. The Garmancha welcomed the assurances and commended the minister for recognizing the role of traditional authority and culture in national development.
My assurance, I know that in the last 24 hours, whilst I was on my trip in London, it is true that I met with Google and the leadership of Google in education to discuss language recognition and its translation. At the time, Google itself had piloted only 3 languages. I have requested them that will not proceed in Ghana if they do not include the 12 official Ghanaian languages, including Ga.
A 6-year-old girl has tragically drowned in an irrigation pond at the Centra in the suburb of Petor in the Volta region. The Ghana National Fire Service has confirmed.
The incident occurred on Sunday, February 1, 2026, when the child, identified as Sarah Ahiafo, reportedly accompanied other children to wash clothes at a pond-like water body used for irrigation purposes, according to a press statement issued by the Volta Regional Command of the Ghana National Fire Service on Monday, February 2, 2026. Personnel from the Petor Fire Station responded swiftly to a distress call at about 1:40 p.m. The statement added that the rescue team, led by Assistant Station Officer ASTNO David Jaka, immediately mobilized and conducted a search and rescue operation, retrieving the child's body from the water, though all efforts to resuscitate her proved unsuccessful. The deceased was subsequently handed over to the Ghana Police Service at the scene for preservation and further investigations. Preliminary findings by the Ghana National Fire Service indicate that the drowning occurred while the child was in the company of other minors who had gone to the site without adult supervision. The fire service has strongly cautioned parents and guidance to ensure children are not left unsupervised around open water bodies, warning that ponds, irrigation sites and similar areas pose serious dangers and should only be assessed under the direct supervision of responsible adults. The Ghana National Fire Service advises parents and guardians to ensure that children do not visit or engage in activities around ponds, irrigation sites and other open water bodies without adult supervision, the statement read. The Ghana National Fire Service also extended condolences to the bereaved family and reaffirmed its commitment to the protection of life and property.
Now, away from the Pond Assad issue from the Volta region, Petoi will move to the business desk, where the Food and Drugs Authority has announced the immediate closure of all food service establishments operating without a valid food license hygiene permits effective February 1st, 2026.
The directive affects a wide range of food-related businesses, including restaurants, lounges, hotels, chop bars, snack bars, food vans, bakeries, event caterers, online food vendors, as well as canteens in schools, hospitals, and offices. The enforcement action is being carried out in accordance with Section 130, Subsection 1 of the Public Health Act 2012, Act 851, which prohibits the manufacture, sale, supply, or storage of regulated products in premises that are not duly registered for such purposes. In a public notice issued on February 1, the FDA stated, Food and Drugs Authority (FDA) wishes to inform the general public that effective 1st February 2026, all food service establishments operating without a valid food hygiene permit will be closed down. The authority explained that any establishment found operating without the required permit will remain closed until it regularizes its operations and secures the necessary food hygiene permit. The FDA has therefore urged all food service operators to take immediate steps to comply with the directive, stressing that the measure is intended to safeguard public health and ensure food safety standards. Members of the public and food business operators seeking further information have been encouraged to contact the FDA through its official communication channels.
On the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump announced that he has agreed to a trade deal with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where the U.S. will lower tariffs on goods from India to 18% from 25%.
In a post on Truth Social, Trump said India will reduce trade barriers to zero and will also stop buying Russian oil. An additional 25% tariff penalty imposed for Delhi's refusal to stop buying oil from Russia will be dropped. The announcement comes less than a week after India and the European Union announced a landmark trade deal that capped nearly 2 decades of on-off talks. Modi said on X that he is delighted that an agreement with the U.S. has been reached. In the post, Trump said that a morning phone call with Modi included discussions of trade and the Russia-Ukraine war. He agreed to stop buying Russian oil and to buy much more oil from the United States and potentially Venezuela, Trump wrote. Trump added that, at Modi's request, he immediately agreed to a trade deal that would see tariffs lowered and India's tariffs and non-tariff barriers reduced to zero. Additionally, Trump said Modi committed to buying more than $500 billion worth of American goods, including energy, technology, agriculture, and coal products. The trade relationship between the U.S. and India has been strained since the U.S. imposed 50% tariffs on goods from India, the highest for a country in Asia, in August, including a 25% penalty linked to India's purchase of Russian oil. A White House official confirmed to the BBC that the Russian oil-linked tariffs will be dropped as part of the agreement and other tariffs lowered to put the rate at 18%. Big thanks to President Trump on behalf of the 1.4 billion people of India for this wonderful announcement, Modi said on X. When two large economies and the world's largest democracies work together, it benefits our people and unlocks immense opportunities for mutually beneficial cooperation, he added. Indian exports to the U.S. plummeted sharply as Trump's tariffs took effect. Officials in Delhi have been seeking partnerships with other countries also grappling with Trump's tariffs. Last week, India and the European Union announced a free trade agreement that is set to lower taxes on nearly all goods between India and the bloc of 27 European states, as both sides seek to deepen ties in the face of increasing tensions with the US.
And that's how we end this morning news at 6. But before we take leave of you, let's turn our attention to the Weather Center, bringing you the weather from the MBN Weather Center, brought to you in association with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Standing by is Eugenia Okanle Saba. Good morning, Eugenia.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Are you looking good?
Thank you.
Now tell us, what's happening with the weather this morning?
Okay. The weather update is brought to you by the MBN Weather Center in association with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. The 24-hour impact-based forecast for Ghana is divided into 3 segments, which is the morning, afternoon, and evening. Moving on is the summary. A weak to moderate rainstorm propagating from the coast of Togo with the bulk of it in the ocean is expected to cast cloudiness with the likelihood of producing thunderstorms or rain of varying intensity along the eastern coast into Volta, Greater Accra region of the Ghana this morning. The rainstorm is expected to propagate and affect the western coast into Central and Western region later in the day. However, mist or fog patches will form over forest and mountainous area to reduce visibility in the early hours of the morning, whilst the north experiences slightly hazy weather during the afternoon. Partly cloudy weather will prevail over most places over southern Ghana, with chances of localized thunderstorms or rain affecting the middle and transition belt from the late afternoon into the evening, whereas fairly dry, slightly haziness and sunny conditions will dominate the northern sector in the afternoon. Let's look at the temperature for the various sectors. Coast sector, minimum temperature is 24 degrees, maximum temperature is 33 degrees. Forest sector, minimum temperature is 22 degrees, maximum temperature is 34 degrees. Transition sector, minimum temperature is 23 degrees, maximum temperature is 35 degrees. Northern sector, minimum temperature is 23 degrees, maximum temperature is 39 degrees. So this brings us to the end of the weather update from the MBN Weather Center in association with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. In case there is any update, I'll let you know. My name is Eugenia Saba. The news continues.
Thank you so much, Eugenia Okanle Saba, for bringing us up to speed with the happenings with the weather and its update. But before we take a leave of you, a recap of the top stories.
Ablakwa arrives in Latvia to pursue justice for deceased Ghanaian student. In business, FDA to shut down food outlets operating without hygiene permits. And on the international front, US and India reach trade deal, Trump says after Modi call.
For more news, log on to MBN 360. The news came to you live from MBN, located at the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate. We're also live on our social media handles, X, YouTube, and Facebook. Don't forget to join us same time tomorrow. Coming up is the sports and its update. Stay with us.
MBN, the gospel, news and entertainment.